Alright guys, Scrappy here, and I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day. So far, a potential taste of things to come last night with Ksun's 2v2 tournament going down, $10,000 on the line, Scrap and HyDra, the new duo, looking to take over the league at the Los Angeles Thieves, coming out on top. FaZe boys in second place again. Lots of drama and interesting details from last night. Very much interested to your thoughts on what this means, if anything, in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. First of all, speaking on the Los Angeles Thieves, Shane is now going to be the new head coach of the roster. Shane, of course, joined on at pretty much mid-season during Vanguard, right? When they then made the role change. Drazah and Kenny swapped it around. And then they went on to be absolutely dominant at the end of the year and win both the final major and, of course, the World Championship as well. Their search and destroy made big strides. Shane was, we're pretty sure, a big part to play in that as well. And, you know, he's a great man-to-man guy as well. So Jacob and Shane seem to be one of the stronger coaching duos in the league over the last couple of seasons. Jacob, of course, is now, well, he's left Los Angeles Thieves. He's potentially retired from coaching. He's talking about remote opportunities. We'll talk more on Cap actually here in a second. We're also, though, almost certain that Sender will join. I mean, they literally said it in their podcast the other day that Sender from New York is going to join. I don't exactly know what the relationship there is going to be. I think maybe Thieves felt that let's make Shane the head coach. And I imagine that they will share responsibilities, Shane and Sender. But it's interesting that Shane is going to technically be the head coach. Sender, whether he's also going to be like joint head coach or whatever, I don't know. Because that's kind of how ReeaL and Sender did it on the Subliners over the last couple of years. So maybe something similar here. But I think it makes sense for Thieves. Because if Shane, having been with the organization and had good success over the last few years, was like still assistant coach and Sender was coming in as head coach, I think that'd feel a little bit strange. So yeah, hope it works out the best for those guys. Speaking on Cap though, he did talk a little bit on the minimum salary stuff we talked about yesterday, how this is kind of like necessary, and Shotzzy's point was, well, the players now are going to try harder, not just to win, but also to make more money outside of the game. And this is a very interesting point that I didn't even really talk about yesterday, but, well, I kind of skirted around the possibility, but it's on the streaming scrims idea, because pro players, even JCap himself for years, would never have gone near this idea, certainly not as a coach of a team. But as he says, this is a take that I never would have had until like a year or two ago, but I actually think players streaming scrims every day would be one of the best things for players and the scene as a whole. Now, well, that's absolute no-brainer, right? If you guys were around during, let's say, a good season like Black Ops 3, every night I was watching the OpTic boys play their scrims. It was sensational. They were making bread, the players are making bread from streaming their practice, and, you know, that's how it was back then. Then, of course, things turn around because players didn't want to stream their practice because other teams could watch, and also other teams didn't want to be seen playing against a certain team in case they got smoked or whatever the case is. But over the last few years, we have seen some players at the start of a game's life cycle turn the streams on for some practice. They might even mute out the comms. They might, you know, blank out the minimap or whatever. But it's still better for the scene. And I feel like this is a potential repercussion of the changes we're seeing in the CDL, and especially the amount of money that can be made on Twitch right now. It seems almost a no-brainer for more players and teams to turn on the streams for their practice this upcoming season, and the players would benefit because they'd be pocketing some serious cheddar, and the scene, it would be so much better for everyone, to be honest. So yeah, Ghosty, as he said, we streamed our practice last year, and it would be very exciting to see if that's the case. I guess we shall see if that does come true. Quickly from Shane, he was speaking to Ace yesterday during the event that we're about to discuss in the coming minutes, discussing the new Thieves roster, because obviously the talent is there, and you'd far rather have a team with the talent and a couple of questions on whether you're going to be able to make it work than some good confidence that you've got good chemistry, but not maybe enough talent on the players. You know, in a racing analogy, you'd far rather have a fast car that's unreliable, so then you can make it reliable, than a slow car that's reliable, because, you know, making it fast is a more of a challenge, and it's the same thing I would say here as well. But some of those players, of course, involved in Ksun's 2v2 LAN tournament that went down last night. So this was the format involved. It was Simp, aBeZy, Shotzzy, Drazah, Scrap, HyDra, and then Hisoka and Shifty. They were the teams, and stellar teams, no doubt at that. This was the format: best of 5s, best of 3s, search and destroy, and gunfight tournament. So it was going to be competitive, it was going to be fascinating, and that's exactly what it was. Of course, there was a bit of drama, as you might well have expected, between the couple of Warzone guys, Soka and Shifty, and then Scrap had made the point that, oh yeah, effectively they got the choice, Scrap and HyDra, to pick who they wanted to play round 1. obviously they're going to choose the Warzone fellas, and Scrap said, oh, we're going to use them as a warm-up round, and Soka weren't happy about that. So, look, it was a competitive tournament. They put up a fight. These guys were not getting absolutely well started. They did reasonably well, but, you know, there were moments like this, such as on the Mikado, where Scrap just completely took them to school. And as Nadeshot says, Dad, I'm in love, I don't care who knows it, because he's, well, taken a serious pay cut, right? And Nadeshot might not have had to take a pay cut, but because Gataga and Gentlemates came in trying to get those guys, all of a sudden Nadeshot had to match the offer, which meant that from a salary POV, which meant that he had to take his own pay cut, we believe, to make that happen. So Shifty and Hisoka, they put up a decent fight in the first couple of rounds. They had their moments. They were, of course, at times getting well started. I mean, his Simp off the top ropes here on Rust, absolutely smoking this guy. So, yeah, Shifty misses the first shot somehow, and then he just gets completely destroyed out of the top rope by Simp and aBeZy, of course. The Tiny Terrors as the duo. So they fall out in last place. No massive surprises there. And, look, Shifty, is this a performance that he's going to get a CDL offer for? Probably not. And at the end of the day, it's a 2 versus 2 tournament. They're playing not, you know, the upcoming title, Black Ops 6, not even playing this most recent title. They're playing Search and Destroy, they're playing Gunfight, right? So it's not the most competitive thing ever, so you can obviously debate how much we can read into this, but nonetheless, the result is possibly the most fascinating possible result, and as we'll get into in a second. So you would have expected Shifty and Soka probably to place last. That's what happened. They did okay, but yeah, as he says, shout out FaZe, Kaysan having us out. Hopefully we can run it back on Black Ops 6, and shout out Kaysan as well and those that actually worked to put this on, because this off-season has been very strange in many respects. The World Cup was kind of just plonked after the World Championship, which doesn't usually happen. Obviously, it's champs, and then the day after, the rosters are blowing up. This year, it was a very interesting circumstance. It doesn't seem like there's a crazy amount of off-season tournaments happening before Black Ops 6 launches, so shout out these guys putting this together, flying the guys out there to make it happen as well. Scrap was talking about that pay cut that we mentioned here for Nadeshot taking what is reported to be like a $200,000 pay cut that Nadeshot took out of his own salary from 100T to make this team happen. So yeah, the team better deliver basically, and obviously the first evidence is certainly good in that favor, right? So there were a few phenomenal clips here, but Drazah and Shotzzy ended up playing Simp and aBeZy for, I mean, this is an absolutely ridiculous clip. Drazah got completely smoked. His teammate, of course, for the new season, but well, for the last season as well, right? But for the upcoming season, that is still true that FaZe have stayed the same despite their poor result at the World Championship, and yeah, Drazah kind of got caught sprinting and got absolutely destroyed. But these guys ended up playing effectively for second or third. They ended up in that losers final. Meanwhile, it was Scrappy versus Drazah, and Scrap and HyDra ended up making the grand finals themselves. So this was an interesting clip here. So Shotzzy was up on the top of the crane and shot a little bit too early, and then Scrap took advantage of it. And then they ended up in a 1 versus 1 situation here. I think I've got a couple of clips like this to share for you guys in a second. But yeah, Scrap versus Drazah, 1 versus 1. Doesn't get much better than this. Drazah gets the first couple of shots down here. Scrappy goes for the challenge, absolutely destroys him, and obviously Scrap's going to be chirping him. We're going to talk a bit more about this Scrap-Drazah beef later in the day, because there were some questions on that last night, but you know, you've got to love a Scrap-Drazah 1 versus 1. Scrap takes the dub, and they go on to make the grand finals, and in the end there, they do end up playing Simp and aBeZy, the two boys on FaZe. So, look, as Nadeshot said here, HyDra and Scrap, insanely good, as to nobody's surprise, to be honest. But look at this moment here. So HyDra gets this first kill, and even like the movement that he pops here on Shotzzy is pretty ridiculous. So Shotzi's in this spot, he ends up going down low, doesn't quite get good timing on HyDra, and then HyDra jumps on the wall, smashes through the top glass and guns him. It's like, yeah, and the shade behind him is like, wow, okay, these guys are just absolutely ludicrous. So, several clips to share for you guys here. This was a funny one as well, with Shotzzy on the comms.
He saw him.
Shoulders. Shoulders. You're never going to get them both, but if they don't chow at the same time, this is not going to work out. Oh. And his tricks from Scrap.
Wow, what a play.
Day one tricks.
Oh my god.
Can we find the 2v1? Shifty's got to find the snapper here.
Oh my god!
Fuck! We forgot about that jump, huh?
I don't know if they ever knew about that jump.
On this map.
He goes, Scrap.
Yo, HyDra cleared that fucking corner, bro. That's all that Val. I love that. And they're going for the defuse. These guys are too fucking good. Oh my fucking god. Yeah, hey, chat, we're gonna win one this year. There's just no fucking way, bro. There's just no way we don't get one. What a fucking play. To hop the bomb instantly is insane, brother. So we gotta get one, dude. There's just no way. Be the deciding factor and a message to the rest of the league that a new community.
Freak party was that?
Oh, we're in there, brother. We did it, guys. We fucking did it.
Yeah.
Nah, we're in there. Hey. Yeah. Now, money well spent.
They got their nugs.
Money well spent.
We should scrap in Paco's little dude name. Should be. I'm trying to think, but I don't think they really have anything correlated. I was gonna say long necks, but I don't think Paco's in the long neck.
Bro, he's right there. Have a look.
No, he's like a mid neck. Wait, that sounds insane.
A mid neck?
That sounds fucking insane.
Is that like for someone who's like not from down south, but like from Middle America? Mid neck.
No. That means that they give mid brain. That's literally what that means.
What did I just
Disgusting.
watch? Good shoulders from Tyler. Insane shoulders. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Terra's who?
No way, right? No way.
Oh my fucking god.
G5. Wow, that was gross. He said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That flight has his name on it. That is a man with TSA pre-check, boys and girls. Dave.
Buddy has a catch a flight. I respect it, dude.
Abe to stay alive in the tournament.
Oh, here we go.
Oh
And we're getting a flight, and we're the champions of K-Sun's Showdown 3. LA
Congrats to
Thieves.
these guys, man.
Hey, GG. GG, chat.
GG's. I gotta get these guys their belts.
That was gonna
Julian, not right now. Let's go over there. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, let's get the winners on the
Fucking champions, gentlemen. That's one. Started off right. Hey, don't get any scuff marks on my belt.
Post-game interview. What did Nate say? He gets one of them? Oh, Nade's asking for one of the belts.
No, I ain't asking. Please, somebody from 100 Thieves,
you know what? I
I'm
will
begging
walk it
you to
over if you
overnight
want.
that thing to me.
know, my,
I'm begging you.
everyone
I'll
loves
give
it.
it back at some point, or I might keep
Incredible
it. I'm not
tournament.
sure.
I think all the players who participated, guys.
That's what I'm fucking talking about!
These guys took
Yeah!
over here.
I got a flight in an hour.
All right, well, stop at FedEx and send the belt in the mail. I get one.
They're going to the compound.
I want you to deliver it overnight shipping. I don't trust nobody else.
I'll sort it out. All right, Shane's got it.
No, I'm just kidding. Hey, congrats, boys. That was sick. Great job. Safe flight.
So eventually in the grand finals, it went down to a map number 5, Simp and aBeZy, the Tiny Terrors versus the new, best duo in the game, whatever you want to say. If you look at best duos in the world of Call of Duty, I think maybe Dashy was meant to play this one with Shotzzy. That was maybe one of the initial plans to have like an OpTic duo, as it were, or whatever. But Simp and aBeZy have been the gold standard duo. SMG duo, sure, Scrap and HyDra is different over the last few years. And now Scrap and HyDra are forward that chemistry, and there was a disgusting 1 versus 2 there for Scrap. Obviously, Nadeshot was super hyped that they went on to collect the W, and they walk away with the championship there, presented by FaZe and K-Sun. And, shout out to MettalZ as well, obviously did a killer job as always, doing like solo casting, not solo casting, you know what I mean? Like he was only the only caster there, did a killer job as ever. And Nadeshot's team take the early W. So what does this mean in the grand scheme of things? Maybe not that much. At the end of the day, Scrap and HyDra, it's a 2v2 tournament, it is what it is. But in terms of expecting the results that they are going to have this upcoming season, in terms of the way that they could potentially start it by closing out a 2 versus 2 tournament against the FaZe guys, I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much. The fact that the FaZe boys got second again, but they did get second again, right? I mean, they made the final, and then they lost in the end of the game 5. And they could have won, sure, things could have gone differently. Lots of these maps are absolute bangers. But, yeah, HyDra and Scrap walk away with the belts for the championship, and it's their first time playing together as a duo. The potential number 1 AR in the game, number 1 SMG in the game, you can certainly argue it. It should be no surprise that put them together, they're going to be a scary duo, and already we are seeing evidence of exactly that. So, it's not like Shotzzy, Drazah, like Simp and aBeZy. Those are damn good duos, and Scrap and HyDra took them down on their, first time effectively being together. So what does it mean for next season? Probably not that much, other than we are just going to have an absolutely banger year on paper. This was the overall bracket, by the way, as well. So Scrap, HyDra, they didn't lose a series, of course. In the end, they took down Soga Shifty round 1, they took down Drazah Shotzzy round 2, and they took down Simp and aBeZy in the grand final in this double elim bracket that they eventually did. It was best of 5 in the upper side, best of 3 in the lower side, and it was a very entertaining tournament. And as Scrap says, off-season land champs with HyDra, we did it. Shout out KSUN for hosting. Hella fun to play gunfight on the old maps. Back to the airport I go. So he takes the dub straight back to the airport, and he's out of there. Cool to see the old maps as well, like Hotel and Mikado coming back into the new title, and then played on the new setup as well. But yeah, potentially a serious sign of things to come here for that particular duo. So very much interested to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.